bullpen has been phenomenal, as has the Royals and the Orioles. So of the four remaining teams, the Cardinals bullpen has been the weakest in the playoffs to this point. Doesn't mean it won't perform well in this series, but to this point, it's the worst bullpen of the four that are left. So if bullpens are as important as people say they are, then the odds favor the Giants, the Royals, and the Orioles over the Cardinals. So we'll see if they come through against the Giants. These are, I think, two evenly matched teams in this series. I give the Giants a decisive edge in starting pitching, especially with the question marks that are surrounding Adam Wainwright. And I get a big kick out of everybody making a big deal out of John Lackey. What a great postseason big game pitcher he is. He's 7-5 in the postseason. Now he's got a great earned run average, 2.92. And so, you would think, well, those are great numbers, 2.92. However, the guy that's going to be opposing him is even better in the postseason. Ryan Vogelsong for the Giants, who's 4-0 with an under 2 earned run average. And he dominated the Cardinals 2 years ago in the playoffs. Not to mention Bumgarner, Peavy, and Hudson. So there's no doubt in my mind the Giants have a decisive edge in starting pitching. Will it pay dividends is the question. Both of these teams struggled to score during the season, though they scored enough. And in the playoffs, both teams' lineups came through in the big situations. And we'll see which one does in these next 4 out of 7, perhaps 7 games. I wouldn't be surprised if both of these series went 7 games. We'll see, but all this bullpen talk, Cardinals bullpen was not very good against the Dodgers. We shall see.
You're not that good.
Yeah, not so. Missouri and Georgia play this weekend at 11 o'clock at Mizzou. That SEC being so weak, especially in Missouri's side of the bracket. It's the only quality team they really have to beat on their schedule in their division to win. If they would beat Georgia, they'll be playing in the SEC championship game because this side of the SEC is extremely bad. And other great college football games again for the second weekend in a row. You've got Auburn at Mississippi State, Ole Miss at Texas A&M, TCU at Baylor, Oregon at UCLA, Alabama at Arkansas, Southern Cal at Arizona. Some great, great games. So poor Texas A&M. Last week they got spanked by Mississippi State in Starkville, and then they draw Ole Miss this week. If they lose this one, they won't want to see the state of Mississippi or anything from it for 10 years. J.J. Hardy of the Orioles got a 3-year, $40 million extension today. He's their shortstop. He's 32 years old. Michael Vick said today that he wasn't prepared last weekend when the Jets played San Diego, and he's learned the value now of preparing for anything. I'm stunned to hear a quarterback in the NFL admit to that.
What the hell are you doing?
That's what I'd like to know. What were you doing? If you're not preparing in case Geno Smith, who's not exactly Tom Brady, isn't effective and you're called on to relieve him, how could you not be prepared? The odds of Geno Smith's backup playing in a game are astronomically high. So Vic claims he wasn't prepared. Now, I wonder if that's just his excuse for his woeful performance. He was almost worse than Geno Smith, which was impossible. But he came close.
Tied for first.
Yeah, I think it was. It's the first time the skipper's ever gotten that right. Neither one of them threw for 100 yards. Imagine that in this day and age. So he says he'll be prepared this time around if he's called upon. It's a bizarre statement. Did you see those demonstrators outside of Ballpark Village the other night when the Dodgers were in town regarding the Michael Brown death in Ferguson? Did you hear what they were chanting? One person would yell, "Who do we want?" The rest of them would yell, "Darrell Wilson," who was the policeman. Then the person would yell, "How do we want him?" And they'd all say, "Dead." Now, you have the right to a peaceful protest. but you don't have the right to incite violence or riots. And to me, that crossed the line, and every one of them should have been arrested. But now everybody's too afraid to do anything to low-life thugs like that. And that's what they were. They're low-life thugs. There's no other way to describe them. They're an embarrassment. And they're everything that's wrong with this country. First of all, that they actually chant things like that. And secondly, that they're not arrested. So they encapsulated everything that's wrong with this country just in one 10-minute sequence of idiocracy. But that's what we become now. You know, we're going to let people fly here from West Africa or East Africa, wherever that Ebola thing is cooking at a high level. Why would you let any of those people in the country right now? Anybody from there. Why? Until this thing is controlled, it makes no sense.
That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. So now they're taking your temperature at the airports. What are they going to do next? They nearly strip search you. They x-ray your body inside your clothes. Now they're taking your temperature. What's next? Now, I couldn't care less about the x-ray machine. It doesn't bother me a bit. But letting people into this country that are coming from an Ebola-infested area is imbecilic.
What the hell are you doing?
But this is a backward country. I mean, we're almost to the point with all of the resources we have, all of the higher education we have, we act as though we're a third world country because we're too stupid and too cowardly and spineless to do the right thing because of the political correctness nature of this insane country right now and this insane media. But we act like we're a third world country. We're as dumb as they are. There's no doubt about that. We're easily as stupid. So bring on, you know, I don't think the mantra of the Statue of Liberty was bring us your poor, you're hungry. I don't think the mantra was bring us your diseased and your death-infected Ebola population. I don't think we ever asked for that. But our great government says, hey, come on in. We'll take your temperature. Nice move. Rams are having their big reunion weekend. The guys from the 99 team, the Super Bowl champions, will be in town this weekend. A big deal on Sunday, Saturday night and Sunday night. And, of course, they'll be at the game Monday night. And all of them are coming in, at least most of them, the big names. Kurt Warner will be here, Torrey Holt, Isaac Bruce, Marshall Faulk, Mike Jones. So it'll be a fun reunion. And, of course, I would say this. What is the greater chance of happening? If that team suited up while they were in here and played in place of the current Rams, could that team, even 15 years later, play better against the 49ers Monday night than the current Rams? I say it's too close to call.
Absolutely. Hey.
Thank you, Rocky. I think the 99 team would perform better and acquit itself better than the current Rams on Monday night against the 49ers. You can weigh in on that at 399-8923, 399-8923. But I really believe that. Now, a lot of them are moving along slowly, especially the linemen probably. But how could you do any worse? I don't think you could. Roger Goodell says Los Angeles is not something that's on the immediate radar. They have stadium issues to resolve out there, and, of course, they're nowhere near doing it apparently. So I always tell people that are worried about the Rams leaving, don't worry about it at all. I just don't think it's going to happen. Anything's possible, but I don't think it's going to happen. Cardinals and Giants, Saturday night and Sunday night. It was announced that the game on Sunday will be a night game as well. Do you agree or disagree with my analysis of this team, these two teams? Decisive edge for the Giants in the starting pitching. Giants have a bullpen edge. The lineups are very similar in terms of they don't produce a whole lot of offense, but they do hit when the time is right. Both teams in the playoffs especially. I think the Giants' defense is better. I give them the nod defensively overall. But none of that means anything until the teams get out there and play. It's not who has the better defense, the better offense, the better starting pitching or bullpen. It's who performs the best. And we won't know anything about that until Saturday night at the earliest. John is up. Welcome to the Pabst Blue Ribbon Gateway Buick GMC Kings Court. John, how are you? Hello, John. Thought I heard him hang up just as we came on. Or just as we came to him. Call back if you'd like, John. So that's how I analyze this National League Championship Series. I give the Royals the edge in the American League. Speed, they'll run crazy when they get on the bases, and that'll bother the Orioles. The Orioles are the typical American League team. They're going to wait for the 3-run homer, which may never come, especially if you're waiting till the bullpen comes in, because the Royals' bullpen is a shutdown bullpen. Neither team has scintillating starting pitching, though the Royals starters pitched brilliantly against the Angels. So I look for it to be a San Francisco-Kansas City World Series. That's my prediction. We'll see how that plays out. Don't know how many games it's going to take, but I think those are the overall strengths of the two teams. But again, it means nothing until they play. I always thought the Cardinals had the Dodgers number, and I think the Giants likewise have the Cardinals number. 314-399-8923. Those are the numbers if you'd like. That's the number if you'd like to weigh in. We're live at the Tilted Kilt in St. Charles. Our good friends at Marshall Wireless, the Marshall Wireless Sprint folks, have the best phone deal around. You can pre-order the new iPhone and get their exclusive iPhone for Life package. $70 a month for life. Unlimited everything. By the way, that includes the cost of your new phone. And they'll pay out of your existing deal a cancellation fee of up to $350. How do you not do that? Now, there are no catches here. I'm not trying to trick you. That's the deal. And if you're with Verizon or AT&T or one of those data-eating operations, you really want this plan because it's unlimited everything. The iPhone for Life package from the Marshall Wireless Sprint, $70 a month for life. Unlimited everything includes the cost of your new phone. All right, let's take a break. Art Stewart of the Kansas City Royals, their head scout, will be joining us. This is the guy that signed Bo Jackson, folks, George Brett. And we'll be visiting with him about the Royals and the Orioles when we return to the Pabst Blue Ribbon Gateway Buick GMC Kings Court, live at the Tilted Kilt in St. Charles after this.
The day I was born, the nurses all gathered round, and they gazed in wide wonder at the joy they...
Hello, gorgeous. Bare Minerals just won its 9th Glammy Award for Best Prestige Foundation. And to celebrate, we're offering risk-free trials of Bare Minerals makeup to all women nationwide. That's right, every woman who calls right now can get a full-size, risk-free trial of Bare Minerals makeup, plus a free 5-piece makeup set. For yours, call 1-800-605-9625. This is an exclusive radio-only offer you don't want to miss. Bare Minerals Foundation gives you flawlessly beautiful coverage with a no-makeup feel, and it's clinically proven to promote clearer, healthier-looking skin. No wonder it's won 9 Glammys in a row, and now you can try Bare Minerals makeup for yourself. Call now to find out how you can participate in our nationwide risk-free trial and join the millions who've already tried Bare Minerals makeup and fallen in love with their skin again. Plus, we'll send you a free 5-piece makeup set, our gift to you. Hurry, don't miss this exclusive radio-only offer. 1-800-605-9625. 1-800-605-9625.
In the nation, sometimes. But add brand new belongings from Nationwide Insurance and we'll replace destroyed items in your home with brand new versions. We put members first. Join the nation.
Nationwide is on your side.
To get your Nationwide insurance quote, text the word car quote 888-251-660.
Optional feature. Exclusions and limits apply. Damaged items may be repaired in some cases. Consult policy language for specifics. Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and Affiliates, Columbus, Ohio.
Now, all rise. You're in the Pabst Blue Ribbon Gateway Buick GMC Kings Court on 590 The Main.
And we welcome you back into the Pabst Blue Ribbon Gateway Buick GMC Kings Court. Kevin Slayton with you on 590 The Man and streaming live at TalkSTL.com. TalkSTL.com. By the way, we are at the Tilted Kilton St. Charles, Highway 94, and Country Club Plaza. But we welcome one of the great scouts of all time in baseball from the Kansas City Royals, Art Stewart, whose book, The Art of Scouting, is a phenomenal read. I have read it. I had Art on to talk about the book about a month or so ago. We had a fun discussion. Folks, if you're looking for a nice gift, an early one for Christmas, buy it, put it away, and save it for that baseball fan in your family. That's called The Art of Scouting by Art Stewart, who is our guest. Art, welcome to the show. How you doing today?
Happy to be with you. We just finished up our batting practice here in Baltimore, and we're getting ready for tomorrow, as I'm sure you're looking forward to the game in St. Louis.
Yeah, it's a crazy time of year, and, of course, the Royals appear to be that team every fall this year that is jumping for a ride on Destiny's train. A spectacular comeback against the A's in the play-in game, and then a dominating three-game sweep of the Angels, who had the best record in baseball.
Yeah. You know, Kevin, I think we got a bad connection because I'm hardly hearing you at all. I don't know if it's on your end or my end, but you're breaking up considerably.
Well, why don't we do this? Why don't we hang up and we'll call you right back?
Okay, let's do that.
All right, we'll do that, and we'll get Art on, and away we'll go. But so the Royals finishing batting practice up in Baltimore. Well, they'll play tomorrow night. And remember, yesterday we had Ron Kulpa on, the Major League umpire, who is umpiring that series, Kansas City and Baltimore. And that's going to be a fun series to watch. And we'll get into the details here with Art when we get him back on the line. It's a home run hitting Oriole team versus a Royals team that will run you ragged on the base paths. As I said in our open, both teams have great bullpens, shutdown bullpens. And so I would think that once this game gets to the seventh inning tomorrow night, whoever has the lead is probably going to hold on to it. So it's imperative in this series that these teams get going and get to the other team's starting pitcher. Because once that seventh inning rolls around, you want to have the lead, or you may be heading for a loss. Is Art ready, Owen? Maybe I lost Owen. Okay, are we not dialing him? No, let's call him. Yeah, let's give him a call. He's in Baltimore. All right, Art, are you there? Does it sound a little better this time?
Yeah, but not a lot. I don't know where the problem is, but somewhere you sound like you're, distant away, and the clarity is not coming through well.
Well, we'll do our best. Let's try to marshal through it. Your ball club, the Royals, you've got to be very proud as a scout that these young kids are coming through so well that you guys drafted and developed.
Well, we are. It's kind of similar what's happened in St. Louis. We signed these young players like the Hosmers and the Gordons and the Moustakas and a lot of the young pitching, and now they're starting to mature. And last year we saw signs of them getting close. They won 86 games, and they knew they could compete with anyone. And of course, this year with that experience, I think it's helped a lot. And then of course, with the veteran Shields here, and we picked Aoki up in the off season, and he's been a great asset along with Infante. We've had a lot of experience in playoffs and a solid player, so it kind of rounded out up pretty well. And we have, and then the emergence of young Duffy, the left-hander, and our young Giordano Ventura, one of the hardest throwers in the game, along with Kelvin Herrera, who throws 100, 101 in a bullpen. The emergence of these youngsters that all came together. It was a similar situation in '85 when we had Saberhagen and we had Mark Gubaza, all arrive, and Danny Jackson all arrive on the scene. So a lot of similarities.
Yeah, and I was saying earlier that the Royals appear to be that team this year that's taking a ride on Destiny's train. The great comeback win against the A's, and then, of course, the 3-game sweep against the heavily favored Angels.
Yeah, well, that wild card game was unreal. I've been in the game 62 years, and I don't think I ever saw a playoff game, where the score was 7-4 that late, and then to see a club rebound the way our young players did and come back and win it. And then on the other side of the coin, the series against the Angels with that, and the lineup they have, and the kind of money they spent for that lineup. They're getting Pujols out of St. Louis and Hamilton and the club that they had, and to shut them down the way we did, it really says something. And of course, we're really happy with the progress. The young boys seem to have matured and seem to be ready now.
Art Stewart, the author of The Art of Scouting, longtime scout with the Yankees and Kansas City Royals, visiting with us as his Royals are in Baltimore to take on the Orioles. Art, when you look at that play-in game against Oakland and down 7-4 late, come back to tie it, then get down in the extra inning segment and come back to win it, that alone probably gave all of those young guys the biggest shot of confidence that anybody could have ever done, even if you could mix it and have them drink it.
Well, Kevin, I think there's no doubt about it. Once we tied that game, and then we came back, and they went ahead in the ninth, and we came back and tied it again. You just fell down. We're going to win this game. We're going to win it somehow, and not knowing it go as long as it did. But I think that inning by inning, you can see the confidence improving, and especially coming back from from certain defeat. I think that the confidence level just increased tremendously, and certainly with the great crowd, it all came together and helped us pull that game out.
And, it's interesting, Art, because you're not a team that hits home runs, and yet guys hit home runs. You're a team that does steal bases, but Billy Butler doesn't steal many, but he stole a base against the Angels. So everything's coming together.
Yeah, that was all the players in the clubhouse said, it was strictly the element of surprise. Because Billy certainly doesn't steal bases, but we have a lot of speed on this ball club, and it's being utilized wisely by our manager and our coaching staff, and it's really helped us win games along with some tremendous defense along with good pitching.
It's interesting, Art. The Orioles led Major League Baseball in home runs, and you guys were last, and yet you were first in stolen bases, and they were last in stolen bases. And I think the two teams with different styles both have very strong bullpens in the back. However, I think both teams have said an end to Moneyball, because this is the antithesis of what Moneyball proclaims.
Yeah, it's going to be it should be an interesting series, because it's exactly what you said. We've been winning with speed and defense and good pitching, and although we have gotten some key home runs all of a sudden with the emergence of young Hosmer and Moustakas, and we hope that continues. They had big home runs to win those games out in Anaheim, so maybe because they're capable. It's just that we haven't done it consistently over the season. We've been more of a club that's played the small ball, so to speak, with great speed.
And as I mentioned Moneyball because that was a prophecy of base on balls, weighing the pitcher out. And you guys were last in walks this year, and the Orioles were 26th. So I think this is going to be an exciting series. We're not going to have to sit back and watch guys taking pitch after pitch. These teams are aggressive, and I love that.
Yeah, I think you hit it exactly correct, and we're hoping that it would be nice for the state of Missouri if we could renew the I-70 series come October 21st.
Boy, that would be a lot of fun as we talk baseball with Art Stewart, the author of The Art of Scouting with the Kansas City Royals. Art, your young team coming together. Mike Moustakas took a little longer, I think, than most thought. Alex Gordon has been a pretty darn good player for a while. Hosmer coming into his own. Those are the big three, but by no means the only three. Moustakas is growing in confidence. You can almost see it on a daily basis.
Yeah, he's, at the latter part of the season as we went into the playoffs, his confidence at the plate, and he's had better at bats. And he just seems to be seeing the ball better and rising to the occasion, and certainly that's a big plus for us right now.
And what about health, Art? Was it Herrera that left the game with a sore arm, and is he okay?
Yeah, he's fine. He had a little forearm tightness. We shut him down for a few days, and I would say he's okay because he came back against the Angels and shut him down 1-2-3 with a 101-mile fastball. So I don't think anything's wrong there. And our trainers tell us it was just a mild thing, and he's 100%.
Art, when you guys are looking for players, do you consciously look for that triple-digit pitcher who can, in your future mind, say, wait a minute, there's a guy at the back end of our bullpen who can throw 100 miles an hour, and nobody will know what to do with him?
Well, we look for great arms like the most clubs, and the amazing thing is that young players, and I've been in this game so long, Herrera, for instance, when we signed him, he's 16, 17 years old. He threw 91, 92, 93, and the maturity he came on throwing hard. And you have something like that in St. Louis. Rosenthal did not throw that hard in high school by any stretch of the imagination. He came out of Lee Summit right in our backyard. And as he matured, he kept throwing harder and harder and harder. And that's what's happened basically with Herrera. And the same way with our starting pitcher, Yordano Ventura, that will start the second game here in Baltimore. He was around 94, 93 when we signed him, and now he works as a starter anywhere from 97 to 102. Wow. And he's another one that just as he's matured, that arm strength has come. And it doesn't happen with everybody. You hope it would, but it doesn't. And there are rare exceptions. And certainly the names I just mentioned are rare exceptions.
Art, if you're Ned Yost and you're sitting there with that kind of a bullpen, is the temptation strong to lift your starter maybe an inning too early because you got that flame-throwing bullpen?
I think it tends to be that way, depending on who the pitcher is, because Herrera. I mean, how many teams got a guy that bring in that's throwing 101, 100, 101, 102 in the 7? And then a Wade Davis that's been almost unhittable this year. And finishing up with Holland, one of the leading closers in baseball. And Ned certainly says, well, if we can get 6, we know what we have for 7, 8, and 9. And that's basically the way he's done most of the year now since Herrera's moved into the scene in the 7th inning.
Art, as you look at most postseason series, in the old days it was just the World Series, and then later, of course, different rounds of the playoffs, the mantra is still good pitching beats good hitting almost every time. In this particular case, it's a tremendous contrast. You're pitching, their long ball. I got to believe, and I've said this on our show before, I favor the Royals in this series, and I just would love to have that kind of pitching, that kind of defense, and that kind of speed, because those are the key elements, in my opinion, to produce winning baseball.
Yeah, well, I think you're exactly right there, and the way we look at it, and we know Baltimore is a good ball club. That's not shut Detroit down the way they did. We know they have good pitching. I know one thing: they're very fearful of our base running, though, because we got in there yesterday, and I looked out my hotel window here, and I can see right into Camden Yards, and it was about 5 o'clock, and Bucky kept them afterward with the catchers, and they were working on catcher releases and things like that, and pickoffs. So I think they're concerned about the speed that we have. And once you get, it happened with the Angels too. Once you get that into their head, that psychologically, it helps us because they're thinking about that all the time, and the pitcher's thinking about that all the time, and it does have an effect. And we found out in the last couple of series with Oakland and with the Angels that that speed has bothered them, and it all played in favor of us as the results came about. And as far as the pitching goes, you're so right. Good pitching stops good hitting, because you know what Pujols is. You saw him at St. Louis so many years, and they have a strong lineup, and they have probably the best player in baseball in Trout. We shut him down 1 for 18, and shut Hamilton down completely, and Ibar, and that lineup, which was a solid lineup, we shut them down well, and that was just because of good pitching.
Yeah, and you mentioned that once you get it into their head with this speed game, I would think, too, that no matter how good a team's defense normally is, that speed puts pressure on them. And so they're a little bit quicker to the ball in the outfield, and maybe that's when they kick one. Or the infield is a little bit quicker fielding a ground ball, and maybe that's when they kick one. Or with their release and their throws. Now, those are the little things that spell victory sometimes.
Well, you're exactly right. And, in the Angel, we had a couple plays in the Angel series. I don't know if you saw them, where actually the catcher tried to release so quick he never did get the throw off because they dropped the ball and as that they get the release off so quick that they messed up and dropped the ball, and there wasn't even a play on a stolen base.
And I don't think, Art, you can correct me if I'm wrong, as we talk with Kansas City Royals Scout Art Stewart. His book is The Art of Scouting. Today, there aren't too many guys who have great pickoff moves. Now, if somebody did on that Orioles staff, that might be able to neutralize the running a little bit, but nobody has what I would consider a stop-dead pickoff move.
No, you're exactly right. No one would really has what you would call an above-average move to the plate. And Rusty Kuntz, who's our base running instructor and former big league outfielder, is tremendous. And, he's got the times down to exactly on pitchers and what they are to the plate and what the release time is the catcher has. And he has those two up and knows how fast our runner can get to the second base, and has a pretty good idea that we're going to make it most of the time.
And, Art, the other thing about your speed, we talk about stolen bases, which, of course, adds pressure to the defense, but hitting the ball out of the box, your guys will take the extra base. Your guys will go first to third on a single every time.
Yeah, exactly. And that's it boils down to what we're talking about here. An old theory that goes back as far as baseball: speed never goes into a slump.
That's so true. And by the way, speed travels. It's no better at home than it is on the road. It also travels, and the little part of the game, I love how you guys will sacrifice runners, move them up. I love that. And a lot of these guys, when they're dropping down a bunt, it might look like a sacrifice, but they're hell-bent to beat it out, aren't they?
Exactly.
Well, it's going to be a lot of fun watching this game. What's the mood of your team, Art? I would think they're fairly relaxed at this point after proving against the Angels what they already knew about themselves.
Yeah, they are as loose as I've ever seen them. They're confident. They know they can play with anybody now, and the mood is great. The camaraderie is outstanding. It's a group of young players that just have meshed together so well, and there's no individualist that's, above the next guy. They're all pulling for each other, and I think this is and Ned Yost has really meshed them together so well, and they love playing for him, and they play hard, and they play hard all the time. They're all out all the time, and I think that's another thing that has helped us down the stretch. The more they're into this, the more series they play with pressure. We really were under pressure before the playoffs started because we were in a dogfight, with Detroit, and we lost out for our division by one game, but got the wild card spot. But every game, it seemed the last 20 games of the season was like a playoff game. And I think all of this has now helped them. The more they play under these pressure conditions, the more the better they play, and they're ready to handle it.
And Art, do you think this team compares to that '85 world champion? Is this team better in some areas, maybe not quite as good in others?
Well, I can say, first of all, we didn't have a guy to hit 36 home runs like Steve Balboni did that year. We also don't have a George Brett, but what we do have is 3 Gold Glove guys out there, and a couple other that are close to Gold Glove guys. The defense is better than what we had in '85. The starting pitching is comparable, and the bullpen, all we had was Dan Quisenberry, and now we have Herrera, Wade Davis, and of course Holland to close. So in that respect, it kind of balances off. So this ball club is, got some attributes that the '85 club has. '85 club had a little more power, but they did have good pitching, but they didn't have the real closing pitching for the 7th and 8th innings like we do with this club.
What is Kansas City going to be like for Game 3? I would imagine the whole town is rocking right now.
Yeah, it's been tremendous. Not having playoff baseball like you've had in St. Louis continually in recent years, it's been so long. And then that wild card game, for instance, I can remember the crowds of '85, and they were great, and they were vibrating, and they were enthusiastic. But from the first strike of the game, it seemed like the stadium was shaking, and every out, it's just been it's been unbelievable.
And it's going to continue through this series, and I hope it is a replay of the '85 World Series. Wouldn't that be fun for the state of Missouri?
Oh, I hope the next time I talk to you, we can be talking about an I-70 series.
That would be great, Art. Hey, listen, I'll let you go because I know you've got things to do in Baltimore. We thank you for your time. And, folks, the book is The Art of Scouting by Art Stewart. Great scout for the Yankees and the Royals, and it's a tremendous read with fantastic stories. Art, thanks for your time. We sure appreciate it, my friend, and good luck to your Royals.
Okay, thank you so much, and great being with you again.
Thank you, Art. That's Art Stewart. Wow, I'm telling you, watch out for those Royals. All right, we're running a little late. Let's catch up. This is the Pabst Blue Ribbon Gateway Buick GMC Kings Court. We're back at the Tilted Kilt in St. Charles right after this.
It's Red October at Big Daddy's, the best bar in the whole wide world. Big Daddy's is the place to be before, during, and after all home and away playoff baseball games. Check out our pregame, watch party, or postgame celebration party packages online at BigDaddySTL.com. Also, don't pay to park by the stadium. Make your house payment instead and take our totally free shuttle service to and from all Cards playoff games. BigDaddySTL.com.
This is a beer ad for guys who like drinking beer with their buddies and watching football while drinking beer with their buddies at a bar while eating fried food and high-fiving. Ever high-five while eating fried food? We call it high-friving. Buddies and beer, football and fried food. But this is a beer ad for a different type of beer with a refreshing taste of apple. It's called Red's Apple Ale. You can still drink it with your buddies while watching football, or drink it while doing something a little different, like watching rugby or professional arm wrestling. Or if you're feeling really crazy, get some Red's Apple Ale and 2 TVs and watch rugby and arm wrestling at the same time. Because that's exactly what Red's is. A little different and anything but ordinary. Crisp like an apple, brewed like an ale. Red's Apple Ale. Pick different. Red's Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Great beer, great responsibility.
When you are referred to a particular business or organization by a friend, you know that person had a very good experience or the referral would never have happened. And who is the most referred funeral home here in St. Louis? Cutis. I'm Kathy Cutis, and here at Cutis Funeral Homes, we have been doing business with the same families for generations. And when we serve a new family, more often than not, it is because of the information they received from our previous patrons. At Cutis, you will find we are not owned by a large outside conglomerate. We are not governed by the high prices necessary to pay for those out-of-town salaries and offices. Cutis Funeral Homes are locally owned and operated, proudly serving our community for over 100 years, with plans to serve your family in the next generation. Cutis Funeral Home, affordability with dignity since 1910.
Locally owned and operated Cutis Funeral Homes with 3 locations, South City, Afton, and South County.
Fall is the best time of year to golf in the STL. The weather is enjoyable and the courses are ready for you. Hopefully you have figured out those flaws in your game. Making a tee time is as easy as checking out the course of interest, click, pay, and save $10 for using golfaroundstl.com. Go to one of the many courses that subscribe to golfaroundstl.com on their website. Choose your tee time and enter the code 590. That's 590 and get $10 off your game. It's that simple. Golfaroundstl.com tee times must be scheduled within 7 days of the reservation. Use the 590 code and the discount will be applied at the pro shop when you check in for your round. This offer cannot be used with any other promotion, and you must have your reservation at the time of check-in. Any question about the service can be directed to golfer at MidwestGolfNetwork.com. GolfAroundSTL.com saves you time and money. Try it today.
In the sports world, a good offense starts with a good defense. The professionals at Lakeside Roofing believe in this same motto for your roof. Our full-time service department provides the defense to ensure that you get the most out of your roof system. A regular schedule of roof assessment and maintenance will ensure that your roof will hold up to harsh environment, particularly spring wind and hail, as well as the overall aging process. Included in the inspection is a personalized preventive maintenance program specific to your roof system. This defensive strategy can extend the life of your commercial or residential roof for many years. Choose the winning team of professionals at Lakeside Roofing. We're a family-owned business that has built a solid reputation for excellent service from the initial call to the completed job. Call us today at 618-344-2800 or 314-241-5253. Or visit us on the web at lakesideroofing.com. That's lakesideroofing.com. Choose experience. Choose Lakeside.
It's the largest indoor yard sale coming to Belle Claire Fairgrounds October 10th and 11th. Over 500 tables indoors and all under one roof. If you want to beat the crowd and get a sneak peek and buy the bargains, Friday the 10th, there's an early bird fee of $5 from 4 to 7. Saturday the 10th, it is free admission from 8 a.m. until 2 p.m. That's the largest indoor yard sale at the Belle Claire Fairgrounds, October 10th and 11th in Belleville. Call 618-233-0052 or go to b-cfairgrounds.net.
This is a beer ad for guys who like drinking beer with their buddies and watching football while drinking beer with their buddies at a bar while eating fried food and high-fiving. Ever high-five while eating fried food? We call it high-friving. Buddies and beer, football and fried food. But this is a beer ad for a different type of beer with a refreshing taste of apple. It's called Red's Apple Ale. You can still drink it with your buddies while watching football, or drink it while doing something a little different, like watching rugby or professional arm wrestling. Or if you're feeling really crazy, get some Red's Apple Ale and 2 TVs and watch rugby and arm wrestling at the same time. Because that's exactly what Red's is. A little different and anything anything but ordinary. Crisp like an apple, brewed like an ale. Red's Apple Ale. Pick different. Red's Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Great beer, great responsibility.
Please remove those hats. You're in the Pabst Blue Ribbon Gateway Buick GMC Kings Court on 590 The Man.
You need cool.
And we welcome you back in. Kevin Slayton with you in the Pabst Blue Ribbon Gateway Buick GMC Kings Court at the Tilted Kilt in St. Charles. The world-famous Kilt girls are here, of course. Ashley behind the bar. And 45 flat-screen HD TVs for you to watch all the games, including the Blues home opener tonight. And the Blues opener, period. So come on up. Happy hour twice a day, 3 to 6 and 9 to midnight. Hey, the Ernie Patty Collision Center wants you to bring your car down if you have any problems at all with dents, damage, engine problems, transmission. They do everything from minor paintless dents to major collision repairs. On the mechanical side, from minor to replacement of engines and transmissions. So they pretty much do it all at the Ernie Patty Collision Center, including tire and wheel balancing or alignments. They price it right for you, and they give you a lifetime guarantee on all paint and all workmanship. Their paints are waterborne paints, so they've gone green. They're environmentally friendly there. You get your car back quick. Who doesn't want that? They're at 4823 Potomac. The phone number for Ernie Patty Collision Center, 314-752-0400. 314-752-0400. Direct repair available for most major insurance companies. And you can watch the progress of your repairs online at ErniePattyCollision.com. Gene Stadt and his staff have been doing it right for over 25 years in the same location. So that means they're pricing it fairly as well. 314-752-0400. Ernie Patty Collision Center, 4823 Potomac. All right. Our line's open at 399-8923. 399-8923. You know, the money ball analogy is interesting when it comes to the Royals and the Orioles because the premium was placed upon walks, bases on balls, if you recall, in the philosophy of Billy Beane. And the Oakland A's led the majors in walks again this year, and they finished into the playoffs again this year. But these two teams are the complete opposite when it comes to bases on balls. And in reality, bases on balls are down all around baseball. If you recall, when Barry Bonds was in his final year, 11 hitters walked over 100 times. That was 2007. This year, only 2 did. Now, a lot of that is due to the better pitching, because that is certainly happening. Better pitching, more power pitching, certainly late innings, as we talked about. It's dominant, extremely dominant. But these are very strange days for these finalists. And it's so strange that it's the first meeting in either the LCS or World Series between two teams in the bottom 5 in walks since divisional play began in 1969. So it's a statistical oddity, but don't tell these teams that. As Adam Jones says, we tee it high and let it fly. They can't wait to feast on first pitch fastballs when pitchers are trying to get ahead in the count. And they do feast on them. 211 home runs. It's a lot of feasting. Compared to the Orioles, or to the Royals, 95. But the Royals stole 153 bases to the Orioles 44. But as I said, watch out for these two bullpens. If you've got the lead in the 7th inning in this game, probably you're going to win the game. That isn't necessarily the case with the Cardinals and Giants, especially for the Cardinals. I don't know what the role of Carlos Martinez is for the Cardinals, but it ought to be more prominent. I'm assuming, in a perfect world, Matheny throws him in the 7th, Neshek in the 8th, Rosenthal in the 9th, though I would flip-flop 7th and 8th, especially with Neshek's struggles the last month or so of the season. And serving up the game-winning hit in the only game the Dodgers won. But we'll see how it works against the Giants. That doesn't start till Saturday night. The Orioles, of course, with the Royals tomorrow night. Well, you heard Art Stewart talk about the atmosphere in Kansas City. I really do believe the Royals are going to beat the Orioles. And if they do, if the Cardinals can somehow find a way to solve that starting pitching of the Giants, wouldn't that be something? The Royals and Cardinals again? Almost 30 years to the day. What were you doing 29 years ago? I was watching the Cardinals and the Royals. Well, you forget those names, but he brought them from memory lane. Bye-bye Balboni. Of course, everybody remembers Brett and Saberhagen and Brett Saberhagen. But Gubazaw, Quisenberry. Game was a little different in those days. They had a closer, but they certainly didn't have these identified roles 7th, 8th, and 9th. Bullpens weren't as important. It was important to have a finisher, but not a guy in the 6th or 7th inning. But now it seems to be that way. All right, we're going to catch up, and when we come back, Cardinals president Bill Dewitt III will join us right here in the Pabst Blue Ribbon Gateway Buick GMC Kings Court at the Tilted Kilt in St. Charles.
Hot Shots in Arnold and now Webster Groves is the place for all the games all the time. Hot Shots in Arnold and Webster Groves is your place for all your NHL action. Yes, the Blues are back. The NFL is in full swing as well as college football. NASCAR is winding down in point series and our Cards are back in the playoffs. At Hot Shots, you get the best food and drink specials to make the games as fun as being there. Looking for a perfect place for lunch? Well, Hot Shots will get you in and back to work fast after having a fantastic lunch. Get caught up on your sports and have great views of the beautiful servers. It's always a party every day at Hot Shots in Arnold and Webster Groves. Hot Shots gives you every reason to hang out and enjoy yourself with golden tea, bags, beer pong, foosball, darts, and all kinds of other games. Hot Shots in Arnold and Webster Groves has the game on 30 large HD TVs and the massive 105-inch screens, so you always have the best view anywhere in the place. Hot Shots in Webster Groves is on Watson at Laclede Station Roads. Hot Shots in Arnold is at 131 Arnold Crossroads Center, close to 55 and Jeffco Roads. Hot Shots in Arnold or Webster Groves, all the games, all the time.
Hello, gorgeous. Bare Minerals just won its 9th Glammy Award for Best Prestige Foundation. And to celebrate, we're offering risk-free trials of Bare Minerals makeup to all women nationwide. That's right, every woman who calls right now can get a full-size, risk-free trial of Bare Minerals makeup, plus a free 5-piece makeup set. For yours, call 1-800-605-9625. This is an exclusive radio-only offer you don't want to miss. Bare Minerals Foundation gives you flawlessly beautiful coverage with a no-makeup feel, and it's clinically proven to promote clearer, healthier-looking skin. No wonder it's won 9 Glammys in a row, and now you can try Bare Minerals makeup for yourself. Call now to find out how you can participate in our nationwide risk-free trial and join the millions who've already tried Bare Minerals makeup and fallen in love with their skin again. Plus, we'll send you a free 5-piece makeup set, our gift to you. Hurry, don't miss this exclusive radio-only offer. 1-800-605-9625. 1-800-605-9625.
In the nation, sometimes. But add brand new belongings from Nationwide Insurance and we'll replace destroyed items in your home with brand new versions. We put members first. Join the nation.
Nationwide is on your side.
To get your Nationwide insurance quote, text the word car quote to 51660.
Optional feature. Exclusions and limits apply. Damaged items may be repaired in some cases. Consult policy language for specifics. Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and Affiliates, Columbus, Ohio.
It's Red October at Big Daddy's, the best bar in the whole wide world. Big Daddy's is the place to be before, during, and after all home and away playoff baseball games. Check out our pregame, watch party, or postgame celebration party packages online at BigDaddySTL.com. Also, don't pay to park by the stadium. Make your house payment instead and take our totally free shuttle service to and from all Cards playoff games. BigDaddySTL.com.
This is a beer ad for guys who like drinking beer with their buddies and watching football while drinking beer with their buddies at a bar while eating fried food and high-fiving. Ever high-five while eating fried food? We call it high-friving. Buddies and beer, football and fried food. But this is a beer ad for a different type of beer with a refreshing taste of apple. It's called Red's Apple Ale. You can still drink it with your buddies while watching football, or drink it while doing something a little different, like watching rugby or professional arm wrestling. Or if you're feeling really crazy, get some Red's Apple Ale and 2 TVs and watch rugby and arm wrestling at the same time. Because that's exactly what Red's is. A little different and anything but ordinary. Crisp like an apple, brewed like an ale. Red's Apple Ale. Pick different. Red's Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Great beer, great responsibility.
590 KFNS, Wood River, St. Louis.
Sports Talk Radio.
When you are referred to a particular business or organization by a friend, you know that person had a very good experience or the referral would never have happened. And who is the most referred funeral home here in St. Louis? Cutis. I'm Kathy Cutis. And here at Cutis Funeral Homes, we have been doing business with the same families for generations. And when we serve a new family, more often than not, it is because of the information they received from our previous patrons. At Cutis, you will find we are not owned by a large outside conglomerate. We are not governed as necessary to pay for those out-of-town salaries and offices. Cutis Funeral Homes are locally owned and operated, proudly serving our community for over 100 years, with plans to serve your family in the next generation. Cutis Funeral Home, affordability with dignity since 1910.
Locally owned and operated Cutis Funeral Homes with 3 locations, South City, Afton, and South County.
It's the largest indoor yard sale coming to Belle Claire Fairgrounds October 10th and 11th. Over 500 tables indoors and all under one roof. If you want to beat the crowd and get a sneak peek and buy the bargains, Friday the 10th, there's an early bird fee of $5 from 4 to 7. Saturday the 10th, it is free admission from 8 a.m. until 2 p.m. That's the largest indoor yard sale at the Belle Claire Fairgrounds October 10th and 11th in Belleville. Call 618-233-0052 or go to b-cfairgrounds.net.
In the nation, sometimes. But add brand new belongings from Nationwide Insurance and we'll replace destroyed items in your home with brand new versions. We put members first. Join the nation.
Nationwide is on your side.
To get your Nationwide insurance quote, text the word car quote to 51660.
Optional feature. Exclusions and limits apply. Damaged items may be repaired in some cases. Consult policy language for specifics. Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and Affiliates, Columbus, Ohio.
In the sports world, a good offense starts with a good defense. The professionals at Lakeside Roofing believe in this same motto for your roof. Our full-time service department provides the defense to ensure that you get the most out of your roof system. A regular schedule of roof assessment and maintenance will ensure that your roof will hold up to harsh environment, particularly spring wind and hail, as well as the overall aging process. Included in the inspection is a personalized preventive maintenance program specific to your roof system. This defensive strategy can extend the life of your commercial or residential roof for many years. Choose the winning team of professionals at Lakeside Roofing. We're a family-owned business that has built a solid reputation for excellent service from the initial call to the completed job. Call us today at 618-344-2800 or 314-241-5253. Or visit us on the web at lakesideroofing.com. That's lakesideroofing.com. Choose experience. Choose Lakeside.
This is the Pabst Blue Ribbon Gateway Buick GMC Kings Court on 590 The Man.
And we welcome you back in. Kevin Slayton with you on 590 The Man and streaming live at talkstl.com. Talkstl.com, the free app. You can simply download it. We're live at the Tilted Kilt in the Pabst Blue Ribbon Gateway Buick GMC Kings Court. And we welcome Cardinal President Bill Dewitt III to the show. Bill, how are you today?
I'm great. How are you, Kevin?
I'm doing well. Congratulations again. Does it ever get old?
It definitely does not get old. I can assure you that. It's great to be back in the NLCS, and it's familiar territory, but there's always something new every year, and it's never easy. We don't take it for granted, and it's great to be back.
You know, I don't know if you're aware of this, but the only other team that's been in 4 consecutive were those Yankee teams from 98 to 2001.
Yeah, those were great teams, and they of course won the World Series a number of times. And that's the thing: you give yourself enough chances, and hopefully, you can make it all the way, your fair share of the time. And that's certainly what we're hoping for this year.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, they did it pretty much with the same cast of characters those 4 straight years and the same manager. You split it up a little bit. It's amazing to me when I looked at your roster, Bill, the turnover from 2011's World Championship team. It's incredible, really.
It really is. I think, but there are some common denominators that shouldn't surprise people, of course, when you look at Yadier Molina and Holiday and Wainwright was out on injury, but he was there before and after. So I think when you look at sort of the core, there's some common denominators that are pretty impressive.
I was watching the other day, late evening or early evening, I guess, late afternoon when that game ended, and they had a shot on the telecast of you and your dad, and I thought to myself, how that must feel for you guys. You came here in the mid-'90s and a franchise that was really struggling. Did you ever in your wildest dreams envision this, even though I know you were positive about what you thought would happen, but how about this?
It is a dream come true, and I think what's really fun for us as a family is my siblings and, of course, parents, and everybody's in town when we get to this point in the postseason. And, they make trips in a lot during the regular season, but when it's postseason, it brings everyone together. A lot of people, it's Christmas and, the holidays. For us, it's playoff baseball. So it makes it extra special and, just adds kind of to the legacy factor for our individual family.
Yeah, it really does. So happy Thanksgiving and Merry Christmas all rolled into one here in October for you guys.
Exactly.
Bill, as you look at this matchup, I know that the Cardinals come here having dispatched the Dodgers. The Giants, probably to some, surprisingly so. They had to win the play-in game, and then they had to beat the Nationals, who had the best record. But somehow it seems like this was the destined matchup. It happened in 2012, and the Cardinals had the 3-1 lead, and the Giants got the better of it. The Giants won in 2010, the Cardinals in 11. Cardinals go to the World Series in 13. The other teams that actually got to just stop playing.
Yeah, it's. I think the matchup is a good one. Obviously, there's a maybe a little bit of a revenge factor for our guys because they remember 12. But I kind of look at every playoff series as a coin flip overall, in the sense that any team can win. The 10 teams that qualify, and for sure the 8 that are now left after the wild card playing games. They all have. There are very few teams that are just flawless, but the ones that have made it to that top 8 are all very good. And I certainly don't think it's just a 50-50 coin flip, because your individual performances matter, and guys can step up, and if they do it repeatedly, all of a sudden it looks like they're capable of doing it, and they're more comfortable on that stage. And I'm hoping that that's the way, and it's been one of the keys to our success, and will continue to be with guys that have that great playoff experience.
Bill, it was interesting during the season. As an offense, the Cardinals had some stretches that were very difficult, and the Giants the same thing. And yet in the 2 playoff series, as I said at the end of the Dodger-Cardinals series, it was pretty simple when you look at it. The Cardinals guys came through. The Dodgers guys did not. Same with the Giants. These are 2 teams that might not have glittering offensive numbers, but when the money's on the line, both seem to come through.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I think the Giants have done that time and again. They've been a little bit in and out playoff-wise, but when they've been in, boy, they've been very clutch. And I think our guys stepped it up, certainly with clutch hitting in the Dodgers series. I feel like you don't know where it's going to come from, and that's a great feeling to have for a team. It could come from the big names, or it could come from the Daniel Descalzo, who's had, or John Jay, or the guys that have had incredible playoff moments for us, and maybe not be headliners in the national press, but that's what it takes. That's what playoff baseball thrives on, and the winning team gets those contributions always from a whole bunch of people.
Bill Dewitt III, the Cardinal president, is our guest. All right, Bill, you can be honest with me. We'll pretend that nobody's listening. Who slipped something in Clayton Kershaw's drink?
Well, we did, I think, catch a break to some extent in that, maybe he wasn't on the top of his game over really the 4 times that we've played him now in the postseason over the last couple of years. But, I just think that when you look at that last game, he was on 3 days rest, but it didn't look like it. And, it's just one pitch. It's amazing because those 2 hits ahead of Matt Adams were not, ripped that hard, and they were potentially catchable. So, but that's that's why you play the game. Adams saw that curveball and took him deep, and rest is history. And it is unfortunate because you do have a feeling a little bit of, I love Kershaw as a player. He's great for baseball, and I certainly wouldn't have a problem with him being successful as long as we move on somehow, some way. But he unfortunately was probably in there a little too long when you add up all those times against us where, maybe their bullpen they weren't confident enough to bring him in.
Yeah, and yet, I will say that maybe he wasn't on his game at some point, but not when it happens 4 times. I'm a believer sometimes that a team has a guy's number or a team has another team's number. Do you believe in that yourself?
I don't know what to say on that one. I think that if you play enough baseball against a team, it's going to flip around and even out, and the true colors will shine out. But when your sample sizes are small, I think those things can matter, and especially when, it's like the last time you met him when the stakes were that high was just 2 years ago, or, and playoff baseball sort of magnifies that kind of a feeling. So I do think confidence is such a key part of postseason play, and if the team lets itself to come to that type of thinking, I think it can affect them negatively.
Yeah, I would agree with that, and I think it does have to. It's human nature that it would wear on Kershaw after 3 times it happening, and then going into that 4th one. Now it's a long off season for him. But you mentioned it was one pitch, and he was a dominating pitcher until that curveball that hung a little bit. And the difference, I think, Bill, between, as I said earlier, what you and the Giants do and the Dodgers and perhaps the Nationals, is that when you get that mistake, your guys do something with it. The Giants guys do something with it. And I don't know that that's a skill that can be taught. It's just something, like you said, maybe it's just all about relaxing in the moment.
I think so. I know from just a personal experience, whether it's playing golf or hockey or whatever, I tend to perform better when I'm relaxed. But the fact is, when the stakes are really, really high, it's hard to relax. And I think that's where Mike and his coaching staff, they focus a lot on, trying to coach players through those moments so that they approach it in a relaxed way and just do what they do. And that's, you hear that a lot, and it's kind of a cliche. But if you kind of change your attitude from the regular season to the postseason, it's what's the point? If you were going to get amp up for the postseason, then why didn't you amp up for the regular season? And if you were successful in the regular season, you just have to, I think, allow that to let the cookie crumble, but take that same approach.
Bill, when Adams hit that home run, did you say anything to your dad at that moment, or did you guys just watch it together?
Oh, it was just a series of high fives. I think if I had said anything, anyone would have heard it. Once it died down, though, we had a great. We went out to dinner because that was one of the nice things too. It was an earlier game, and you could sort of enjoy the evening more so than the late games afterwards. And we had a great time with family, and definitely toasted what was really a pretty remarkable achievement for getting past that Dodgers team, which was very, very dangerous. And it just had this feeling of a series where if it had gone longer, at some point you figure that the talent they had on the hitting side would shine through.
Ballpark Village is in its rookie year, and I'm assuming that will be a headquarters this weekend for tens of thousands of people. It's going to be a crazy atmosphere, but you get to show off your new toy there.
For sure. It's been a lot of fun on game days. We're anticipating, obviously, huge crowds this year or this weekend. Even tonight with the Blues game, I'm seeing some Blues Blues jerseys come in and out, and that's really fun to see because obviously we want to promote all kinds of events in addition to baseball, and particularly in the off season. So it's really been fun to see people enjoy the space and have special events over there. And then, of course, when a postseason game comes, it's extra special because what a great spot to watch, the team when they're on the road against the Giants next week as well.
Bill, when you guys put together that Hall of Fame that's in Ballpark Village, and it's a remarkable Hall of Fame, I've been through it, and it's for those who haven't, it's a must-see if you're a Cardinal fan at all, even if you're just a baseball fan. But how did that process evolve? Were you involved in overseeing that? Because it's a remarkable finished product.
Yeah, that was a real labor of love. We have a full-time museum staff, and they were continued to be employed with us throughout the time that we had the collection in storage. But they were working on some temporary exhibits and a bunch of other projects and organizational stuff. We also very active in the auction market for memorabilia and look for anything Cardinals related that will fill holes in our collection. And so over the period of about 15 years, we've been collecting stuff, buying it, and getting it from any which way, loans, etc. And we were just very, very anxious to display it and show it off to our great fans. So, yeah, I was very involved in sort of all the planning and the layouts and everything else. And we continue to tweak. I think this first year has been a learning process. We're very thrilled with the way people have responded to it. But the nice thing, too, is we're just committed to it, and if it's been a few weeks since you've gone, you'll see incremental improvement on the little details as well.
Bill Dewitt III, the Cardinal president, is visiting with us on the, eve of the opening of the National League Championship Series. Bill, I thought, and I said so yesterday on the show, what a classy move by the Cardinal organization to call Scott Rowland and have him come over from Bloomington, Indiana, and throw out the first pitch the other day to his former teammate, Adam Wainwright, especially under the circumstances in which he left, because I know he and La Russa did not get along there, and it was, as he said, it was untenable. I thought that was really a magnanimous gesture on your guys' part.
Well, I think, thank you. It was great to see Scott, and I was enjoyed catching up with him again when he was here, and he was, I think, genuinely touched. And a lot of those things that happen kind of organically or naturally, I guess, in the clubhouse. Even the best managers, run into personnel issues and conflicts, and I think Scott was touched, and it was great to get him back, because I think when you look at his baseball card, probably his best years were Cardinal years. Certainly the postseason achievements there. He was a key part of 06 and 04, and I think that it's just great to be able to bring him back. And the same is true of Ozzie this year. I think he feels a little more comfortable with Mike and his staff, perhaps, and Tony, and it's great to see him around a little bit more. And again, nothing against Tony. It's just those things happen over the course of a long tenure as a manager, and it's just time moves on, and the negativity, I think, fades for a lot of us.
It's interesting you mentioned Ozzie. The day that I was touring the Hall of Fame down there at Ballpark Village, Ozzie was in there. I ran into Ozzie in there. So Ozzie's all fired up to be back in the fold, and that's a great thing, I think, for all Cardinal fans.
We had a great story opening day. I was with Ozzie with all the Hall of Famers, because we dedicated the Hall of Fame piece of it next to the museum. And a fan was coming up, and we were sort of mingling around with everybody, and a fan came up who had a Ozzie Smith jersey on. And he's kind of looking down and talking to, his kid or something, and then boom, he just runs into Ozzie at the door threshold. And the look on the guy's face was just priceless. I wish I had taken a picture, and Ozzie, of course, being, gracious, and, he's like, "Hey, you want me to sign your jersey?" "Oh, I'd love to." It was a fun moment. And, hopefully there'll be a lot of those types of moments in that Hall of Fame, because I know the Hall of Famers have all expressed to me that when I've taken them through, they're like, "Oh, I need more time. Let me know when I can come back, and I'll spend a lot more time checking it out."
Yeah, that's neat. Bill Dewitt III visiting with us. Bill, from a business standpoint, it's obviously good for business that the Cardinals get in the playoffs and keep advancing and get to the World Series and maybe win it all. But from a financial standpoint, Major League Baseball controls most of the revenue in these playoffs, don't they? Or am I wrong on that?
They do. The ticketing is all put into a centralized pot, as is the broadcasting. But in the ticketing, the games that you're going to play, the first 3 games of a 5-game series and the first 4 of a 7-game series, there's a formula that carves up the ticketing to the extent that really the players, the umpire pension, and all this other stuff kind of creates the player share. And so, the team is getting a little, but not a lot. And then as the series go longer, the team gets a better cut of that pie, and that's kind of when the teams can see some upside.
And do the teams do they still control their own concessions, or does that go to Major League Baseball and get divvied up as well?
The teams do control their concessions in the postseason. Typically, there's an arrangement with a concessionaire who benefits a lot as well. But that's one of the revenue streams that just goes to the team. But if you just play in a sweep in situation, those revenues come in, and then a small piece of the overall ticketing pie. And they pretty much, you still have all your expenses like the charter and so forth. And so that's why, even with all those revenue streams, a sweep is not great financially. It's when they go deep into the series, game 6, 7, et cetera, is when the team can, see a nice profitable aspect to it.
That's interesting. I guess in some ways you kind of get torn. You want your team to advance, but maybe not so quickly.
Well, we kind of joke sometimes. It's like, would you ever want to, lose a game to extend the series to up your upside? And the answer is never a yes. It's always, are you kidding me? Let's get this win and move on and have a chance at the big prize.
And obviously these playoffs and these repeated appearances benefit you in the long run anyway. It's sort of a trickle-down effect, I would assume, as you roll it over into the next season, simply the PR and the exposure and all of that thing.
Absolutely. That's the big upside of making the playoffs and obviously a nice deep October run. It's, it helps you with your season ticket renewal rate, and that's kind of your bread and butter metric for year-over-year planning. If you can renew 92 to 95% of your existing season ticket holders, and then get that other 5% in churn by getting new guys, you're doing a great job, and maybe even growing the base. So, and that's pretty much what we need to do is perform well on the field for us to see growth there.
Bill Dewitt, the third Cardinal president, visiting with us. Bill, your pop was involved and instrumental in selecting the new commissioner. Do you foresee any major changes in the game's structure of any sort under Rob Manfred's rule?
I do. I wouldn't necessarily call them major structural changes, but I think that the process that we went through to elect a new commissioner was very, very healthy for ownership ranks, because there was a process where the various candidates presented what their vision was for the game and how to change it. And in previous owners' meetings, we hadn't really had a lot of that strategy stuff. I think everyone was, put their faith in Bud's strategic vision, which was, turned out very well, of course. But in terms of owners with ideas that they really wanted to see come to fruition, that was really made clear in this process of what we need to do. And I think in a nutshell, everybody wants the game to get younger, to get more diverse, and to get more international. And those are the buzzwords that I think all owners agree on, and I think Rob Manfred gets it, understands that that's what we need to do, and so a lot of his initiatives will be focused on those 3 things.
It interests me. You look at the contrasting sports. You look at the NFL and Major League Baseball. The NFL, of course, is bogged down and mired down in these domestic cases now. Baseball never seems to have that happen. Is that a conscious effort of ownership to get certain kinds of people in the game, or is it just nice thing that turned out that way?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think I wouldn't certainly take any credit for it as an industry, other than to say that what I do see Rob doing, and Bud still until January, is saying, whoa, look what happened in the NFL. We better get ahead of the curve and learn about what they just went through. So there is actually some movement going on, which is what you would expect of a leader looking at what's happening out there. And I think perhaps what we've done on the performance-enhancing drug issue, I think, is leading the charge for other sports. So obviously baseball went through that, and it was a difficult process and learned a lot from it. And I think the other sports are following, and I think maybe we're doing that a little bit with that domestic abuse issue with the NFL.
Bill, I've always said that you and your father are visionaries. That's how I describe you guys in getting ahead of the game, and obviously with Jeff Lunau's tenure here, with a commitment to the player development. You look today at the two teams in the American League Championship Series, the Orioles and the Royals. Obviously, the Royals brought up a lot of young guys who play the game a different way than the Orioles do, but neither one of them draws on bases on balls. That was the philosophy, the core philosophy of Moneyball, which sort of took over the game for a little while. Is that an anomaly, do you think, or do you think the game is switching back around maybe to not put quite that emphasis on that?
Well, I think that the game's always changing, and if you have teams and GMs allocating value to one feature of or for one specific metric, whether it's on base or slugging or what have you, if you're skewing in a herd format towards one element of value more than they are another element, it creates an arbitrage opportunity. And I think you're seeing that a little bit perhaps with the way that the Royals are playing with great speed and defense, and perhaps they've been able to get some guys who maybe were undervalued on the market because of maybe an overvalue or an over focus on base or what have you. So I think those things are fluid and they change, and I think our analytics staff is really good at understanding where the herd is headed and valuing areas that perhaps other teams aren't valuing things properly.
And, of course, you can take all those analytics and metrics and throw them out the window when a guy hangs a curveball. Your guy better be able to hit it out of the ballpark.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And you can that stuff only takes you so far. I mean, I think it helps you make better decisions, but it doesn't have anything to do with consistency of player development teaching or attitude or personality or all those other things that come into play, and which is why when you evaluate the managerial staff, and Mike in particular, Matheny, you have to give him credit for being really a manager who gets the message through to the players. They respect him, and he does a great job with his staff to have it be a consistent approach, and that probably means more than the stats when it comes down to it.
Bill, I've always thought that dynasties are good for a sport. If you look through the history of baseball, the Yankee dynasty has been good for it in the National League, the Cardinals, and to some extent the Dodgers. Obviously, the Giants have won 2 of the last 4 World Series. The Steelers in football, the Packers in football, the Celtic teams, of course. The Cardinals and the Giants seem to be establishing that in the National League. But on the flip side of that, it's good for baseball, too, to have a team such as the Royals and the Orioles, 2 teams who've had a long absence from the playoffs.
I couldn't agree with you more. I think what dynasties are good for is obviously it gets those markets, in a total lather about their sport, but it creates interest outside of those markets. They're enjoying the dynasty because they end up hating them.
Right.
Sometimes the negative emotion can get people interested in the game as well, to see, it's no secret that I think, Yankees fans love the Yankees and everybody else doesn't, right? It's sort of like, but that's good for the game. And I think it's also very good for the game to have teams rotate into the playoff picture, and have that chance and hope and faith. You can't just have half the teams with a chance. You've got to have, more than half on any given spring feeling that they can make it to the top. And then those that aren't there in any given year, you need to rotate them into the probability chance of future years. So that's what competitive balance is all about. It is good for the game. And with 10 playoff spots available, I think you can have your cake and eat it too on those two issues.
Yeah, and I think if any team out there feels like they can't get to the playoffs, all they need to do is look at the Royals.
Right. Yeah, and it's never easy, and it's that's 1/3 of the team. So you've got to be in the top third to earn a berth, which is still the smallest percentage of any of the four big sports, as it should be because of the nature of baseball being a regular season that should weed out the lesser teams. And but I wouldn't. That's why I wouldn't be in favor of going any more than 10. But I do like how it's kind of set up at the moment.
Bill, are you a fan of the wild cards not getting penalized as much as I believe they should? If, for instance, the Cardinals are playing a wild card team now, I think the Cardinals or whomever would be in this situation should get 5 home games in a 7-game series. At least make the wild card team suffer a little more, because I don't believe it's fair to a division winner that you prove it over 162 games and a wild card team gets in and gets hot at the right time and they barely get a penalty.
I don't know. I kind of like the 2-3-2 format. I mean, it's not perfect, but I do think that you've got to give every team 1 home game, and you have to guarantee it, which is kind of what that format does, particularly in a 5-game series, where it goes 2-2-1. But 5 out of 7, I don't know. I kind of think, the way it is now, 2-3-2, it definitely can favor the road team. If they can win, they can get a split at home and play well at home, split on the road and play well at home, like we did in 2006, where we clinched the World Series in Game 5. But it takes a pretty special achievement to do that.
And you just did it to the Dodgers.
Well, we did, and that's right. In the 5-game series, we did. What I was saying is we did it to the Tigers in the 7-game series in 2006, which required a sweep at home for us.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting. It's always interesting to see and tweak that around. I would go 3-2-2. 3, like for instance, right now, the Cardinals play 3, then they play 2 in San Francisco, and if there are 2 necessary, you come back here and finish it up. That gives the division winner, in my opinion, what they deserve. A little bit more of an advantage and a little bit more of a reward, because after all, it is 162 games.
Yeah, I think that's a viable point. You've got some travel issues in there, but I don't think that one is vastly superior to the other in terms of my opinion on that one, for sure.
Well, it's going to be a lot of fun starting tomorrow night. What special plans do you guys have, or can you share them?
It's a pretty tried and true formula. Anybody with a plaque in Cooperstown is going to be wearing a red jacket. We're going to try to get some Clydesdales there. We're going to have some famous St. Louisans, hopefully, that people recognize on the anthems and God Bless America. And, maybe get a trophy or something out there. And it's that's sort of the baseline, and then we always meet and talk about whether there's some other unique things that we can feature that mixes things up a little bit. But and we like our guys love brainstorming and making connections about, okay, who's a good LCS representative, who had some great LCS moments, and you go through that and see if you can bring those guys in and see who's available. So those are sort of ongoing planning meetings this week, and hopefully people will be patient and stay tuned and enjoy what we come up with.
It's getting to the point where you can do this in your sleep.
Well, we do have a great seasoned staff. They definitely know what they're doing. The MLB folks who come in, because it's part of their show too, they love coming to St. Louis because they don't have to do much because they know we know what we're doing. But I know they also are going to have fun in KC and we've gotten some calls from those guys. But okay, what do we do about this? What do we do about that? And that's great because we enjoy passing on any wisdom we may have to our friends over there.
Well, it will sure be a lot of fun, Bill, if it could be Cardinals and Royals, wouldn't it?
It would be awesome. The governor called me the other day and had an idea. His brain's swarming with ideas for when it happens. And I said, you've thought a lot about this, Governor. It's you better make sure this happens now. And he's laughing. He's like, oh, it's going to happen. Don't worry. So that would be pretty special.
Well, there you go. That would be fun, and it would be obviously the Royals, their last 2 times in the playoffs would be Cardinal-Royals World Series. That's probably a first.
Yeah, and then 29 years later, maybe we could get a little revenge. So although it might be a little hard to drum up these guys. I don't know how many of them were born at that point to start taking revenge.
Yeah, that's very true. And you could always bring Don Denkinger in, though.
Yeah, maybe get Whitey to give the pep talk. Maybe that's the strategy.
Hey, Bill, I know you're busy. Thank you so much for your time today. Congratulations again on advancing, and best of luck in this series, and if it goes to the World Series, that too. Thanks, Kevin. Always a pleasure. Thank you, Bill. That's Bill Dewitt III, the Cardinals president. I'm telling you, he's a special guy in this professional baseball world, because he's always available, never ducks questions. Obviously, these are more joyous times, but when the times are tough, Bill came on and talked about the Pujols thing at length, even before it happened. So there's a guy that never ducks a question, and I can't tell you how much I respect him. We'll take a break. This is the Pabst Blue Ribbon Gateway Buick GMC Kings Court, live at the Tilted Kilt in St. Charles, Highway 94 and Country Club Plaza. Coming up, the Kilt Girls are here, 45 flat-screen HD TVs, 2 happy hours. It's all happening at the Tilted Kilt.
Hot Shots in Arnold and now Webster Groves is the place for all the games all the time. Hot Shots in Arnold and Webster Groves is your place for all your NHL action. Yes, the Blues are back. The NFL is in full swing, as well as college football. NASCAR is winding down in point series, and our Cards are back in the playoffs. At Hot Shots, you get the best food and drink specials to make the games as fun as being there. Looking for a perfect place for lunch? Well, Hot Shots will get you in and back to work fast after having a fantastic lunch. Get caught up on your sports and have great views of the beautiful servers. It's always a party every day at Hot Shots in Arnold and Webster Groves. Hot Shots gives you every reason to hang out and enjoy yourself with golden tea, bags, beer pong, foosball, darts, and all kinds of other games. Hot Shots in Arnold and Webster Groves has the game on 30 large HD TVs and the massive 105-inch screens, so you always have the best view anywhere in the place. Hot Shots in Webster Groves is on Watson at Laclede Station Roads. Hot Shots in Arnold is at 131 Arnold Crossroads Center, close to 55 and Jeffco Roads. Hot Shots in Arnold or Webster Groves, all the games, all the time.
It's Red October at Big Daddy's, the best bar in the whole wide world. Big Daddy's is the place to be before, during, and after all home and away playoff baseball games. Check out our pregame, watch party, or postgame celebration party packages online at BigDaddySTL.com. Also, don't pay to park by the stadium. Make your house payment instead and take our totally free shuttle service to and from all Cards playoff games. BigDaddySTL.com.
Hello, gorgeous. Bare Minerals just won its 9th Glammy Award for Best Prestige Foundation. And to celebrate, we're offering risk-free trials of Bare Minerals makeup to all women nationwide. That's right, every woman who calls right now can get a full-size, risk-free trial of Bare Minerals makeup, plus a free 5-piece makeup set. For yours, call 1-800-605-9625. This is an exclusive radio-only offer you don't want to miss. Bare Minerals Foundation gives you flawlessly beautiful coverage with a no-makeup feel, and it's clinically proven to promote clearer, healthier-looking skin. No wonder it's won 9 Glammys in a row, and now you can try Bare Minerals makeup for yourself. Call now to find out how you can participate in our nationwide risk-free trial and join the millions who've already tried Bare Minerals makeup and fallen in love with their skin again. Plus, we'll send you a free 5-piece makeup set, our gift to you. Hurry, don't miss this exclusive radio-only offer. 1-800-605-9625. 1-800-605-9625.
This is a beer ad for guys who like drinking beer with their buddies and watching football while drinking beer with their buddies at a bar while eating fried food and high-fiving. Ever high-five while eating fried food? We call it high-friving. Buddies and beer football and fried food. But this is a beer ad for a different type of beer with a refreshing taste of apple. It's called Red's Apple Ale. You can still drink it with your buddies while watching football, or drink it while doing something a little different, like watching rugby or professional arm wrestling. Or if you're feeling really crazy, get some Red's Apple Ale and 2 TVs and watch rugby and arm wrestling at the same time. Because that's exactly what Red's is. A little different and anything but ordinary. Crisp like an apple, brewed like an ale. Red's Apple Ale. Pick different. Red's Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Great beer, great responsibility.
And now, Wilson Contracting right here in St. Louis reminds all motorists to keep an extra eye out for our kids at play and never text and drive. This tip courtesy of Wilson Contracting, where quality is second only to customer satisfaction. Offering complete kitchen, bath, and basement remodeling to our home repair, siding, and sunrooms. To have the job done right the first time, call Wilson Contracting at 314-647-7603 or visit them at wilsoncontracting.com to see their quality, top-of-the-line work. That's Wilson Contracting, looking forward to serving you.
Pressure in sports is all part of the game. The home team putting pressure on the opposing team and coming out victorious. But being pressured into something you don't need or want is an entirely different thing. If you have ever been in a situation where you have been pressured to buy, you will understand what I am about to say. There are numerous funeral homes in our area, all looking for your business. Many have quotas that must be met in both dollars and volume, and this can mean pressure. In actuality, many of their funeral directors are just salespeople who are required to sell a certain amount or lose their position. At Cutis Funeral Home, we have no quotas, and because we are locally owned, we have no outside expenses that must be met. This means when you come to Cutis, you will never, ever be pressured into something you don't need or want. I'm Kim Cutis, and I personally guarantee you that at Cutis Funeral Homes, you will never feel pressure.
Locally owned and operated Cutis Funeral Homes with 3 locations, South City, Afton, and South County.
This Saturday, October 18th and Sunday the 19th, come dream and look around the giant flea market while finding your treasures at the Belclair Expo Center, 200 South Bell East in Belleville. The best flea market anywhere. You name the item and it's probably there. So come find it, whatever it might be, at the Belclair Expo Center this weekend. This is a can't miss event at the Belclair Expo Center this Saturday and Sunday. Treasures await you.
In the nation, sometimes. But add brand new belongings from Nationwide Insurance and we'll replace destroyed items in your home with brand new versions. We put members first. Join the nation.
Nationwide is on your side.
To get your Nationwide insurance quote, text the word car quote to 51660.
Optional feature. Exclusions and limits apply. Damaged items may be repaired in some cases. Consult policy language for specifics. Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and Affiliates, Columbus, Ohio.
In the sports world, a good offense starts with a good defense. The professionals at Lakeside Roofing believe in this same motto for your roof. Our full-time service department provides the defense to ensure that you get the most out of your roof system. A regular schedule of roof assessment and maintenance will ensure that your roof will hold up to harsh environment, particularly spring wind and hail, as well as the overall aging process. Included in the inspection is a personalized preventive maintenance program specific to your roof system. This defensive strategy can extend the life of your commercial or residential roof for many years. Choose the winning team of professionals at Lakeside Roofing. We're a family-owned business that has built a solid reputation for excellent service from the initial call to the completed job. Call us today at 618-344-2800 or 314-241-5253 or visit us on the web at lakesideroofing.com. That's lakesideroofing.com. Choose experience. Choose Lakeside.
This is the Pabst Blue Ribbon Gateway Buick GMC Kings Court on 590 The Main.
Welcome you back in. Kevin Slayton with you in the Pabst Blue Ribbon Gateway Buick GMC Kings Court live at the Tilted Kilt in St. Charles. Highway 94 and Country Club Plaza. Come on up. The Kilt girls are here. Great specials for the game, the Blues game tonight, Cardinals game Saturday and Sunday, Mizzou Saturday morning. 2 happy hours, one going on now until 6 o'clock, another one from 9 until 12. That happens every night. Our good friends at Window World, with this kind of crazy weather going on, you're going to find out if your windows are in trouble for the upcoming late fall and winter. Just call them at 314-993-1800. You get a free in-home estimate by doing that. Free. Let them check out all your windows. And you're talking to a company that has been just voted number one by J.D. Power and Associates in their industry for the second year running. Almost never happens. They also carry an A+ from the Better Business Bureau, and Angie's list on that resume. The original $189 window guys, any size, white vinyl, double-hung windows, just $189 from Window World. They've improved over 40,000 homes in our area by look and thermal efficiency. And folks, Window World and Window World alone gives a lifetime warranty that covers all parts, glass breakage, and labor. Now, they can do that because they use double-strength glass. Not many people do. And at Window World, you get 12 months free financing, same as cash with approved credit. 314-993-1800, Window World. Go see them now before it's too late and the bad weather hits. Well, bombshell after bombshell, breaking just as we were finishing up our conversation with Bill Dewitt III. Gary Pinkel must be carrying around a shamrock in his pocket because the great running back Todd Gurley of Georgia has been suspended indefinitely due to an ongoing NCAA violation investigation. How lucky is Missouri? Last year they go to Georgia just in time for Georgia to have Gurley and his backup injured and their top three receivers injured. This year, Georgia getting ready to come to Missouri with Gurley averaging 157 yards a game, the clear-cut favorite to win the Heisman Trophy, and now he's suspended indefinitely. Somebody is, if I were Pinkel, I'd skip the game and head right to Vegas in the slot machines. Your luck is never going to get better. And then comes word that Adrian Peterson is now, there's the prosecutors in Texas are seeking an arrest warrant to revoke his bond because this absolute moron, while getting ready to take a urinalysis test, admitted to the worker that he had smoked a little weed before the test.
I love weed, okay? I love it.
Apparently his love for weed trumps any brain that he might have rattling around in that noggin of his, because not taking illegal drugs are common terms to adhere to when you're out on bond. But I guess Peterson didn't listen to that part of the agreement. Wow. Can you get any dumber? I mean, really, can you? The NFL needs to scratch that Rorschach test that they give at the combine and just ask a common sense question. How much weed do you smoke? And are you dumb enough to smoke it if you're out on bond for some other crime you have allegedly committed? Because if you're that stupid, I don't think we're going to draft you. So Adrian Peterson has now set a new standard for stupidity among athletes. He's got to be the dumbest. And boy, he's got some competition. But he's got to be right at the top of the list. What an absolute moron. So I'm sure they're going to issue the warrant, and he's going to have his bond revoked. That could mean a lengthy jail stay. What an idiot. Smoked a little weed while I was waiting for this test. It's always a good thing, by the way.
Okay? I love it.
It's always a good thing to do, by the way, when you're about to get a urinalysis test. Make sure you smoke a little weed the day before. I mean, isn't that what everybody does? Good grief. He's out on $15,000 bond. Wow. It won't happen right away because the judge in the case is scheduled for a recusal hearing. So one of the other parties is trying to get the judge recused. I don't know why. And I don't know which side is trying to do it. Adrian Peterson. Biggest moron in the sporting world, and that is saying something. Wow. Our lines are open. 314-399-8923. 399-8923 if you want to weigh in on what Bill Dewitt had to say, or the Kansas City Royals, the Cardinals, Mizzou, Todd Gurley, Adrian Peterson. And how about this one? A 49er quarterback, Colin Kaepernick, just got fined $10,000. Now, he's really stupid. Let me see who actually fined him. The NFL fined him. He wore a Beats headphones, Beats by Dre headphones that were colored pink. And unfortunately for him, the NFL has an endorsement deal with Bose. Now, I got to tell you, it's just really asinine. Just because the NFL has an endorsement deal, why should the players have to wear that stuff? I understand for their uniforms they do, but this is after the game. And he doesn't care. He says he's going to keep wearing it. Well, that's going to start adding up. Wow. It's pretty interesting, isn't it? He won't say if Beats, the company he has the endorsement with, paid his $10,000 fine. They probably did. He said, I'm going to leave that unanswered. All right, Bill is up first. Welcome to the Pabst Blue Ribbon Gateway Buick GMC Kings Court. Bill, how are you today? Oh, we lost him. Be a little more patient. A lot of stories to talk about coming out of that break. I can't believe the Todd Gurley story. Can't wait to hear what that alleged violation is all about. Pretty pathetic, though, isn't it? Hey, by the way, over at the Gateway Buick GMC in Hazelwood on 270 McDonald Boulevard, they give you guaranteed credit approval. Guaranteed credit approval. Now, everybody's had some credit hits during these down economic times. But over at Gateway Buick GMC, they're going to make sure that your credit is approved. It's guaranteed, in fact. And listen to these deals. $12,000 off on Lacrosse. $12,000 off on Enclaves. $7,000 off on Encores. They have over 200 used vehicles in stock at Gateway Buick GMC. By the way, those Lacrosses, Enclaves, and Encores are on all remaining 2014 models. And October 18th, just about 10 days away, they have their first annual car show. There'll be a canned food drive at Gateway Buick GMC that day, a 50-50 drawing, which will benefit Backstoppers, and there'll be food for the customers. And October 30th, they're having a big trunk or treat at Gateway Buick GMC. They'll have all kinds of things there, including a lot of candy for the kids. Trunk or treat on October 30th at Gateway Buick GMC. So they've got all kinds of things going on at 270 and McDonald Boulevard. GMC, we are professional grade. Our line's open, 399-8923. Blues open tonight. And they get the Rangers in town. I, for one, am very anxious to watch this Blues team play. I think this offense with the depth at forward, goal scorers, setup guys, the power play is going to be a fun thing to watch. So as soon as the Rangers take a penalty, that's going to be high drama. Can't wait to see it. I'm still stunned over this Todd Gurley situation. Absolutely stunned. Where does this come about? I mean, you've got a star running back, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, mid-season, he's suspended while an investigation's ongoing? I mean, it's ongoing. It hasn't been concluded. So what's the deal there? I don't get that. By the way, also announced today by the Big Ten Conference, they have now become the first conference to guarantee athletic scholarships across the board, every sport. So if you get a scholarship to a Big Ten school, it will be guaranteed for all 4 years that you're there until you graduate. Unlike scholarships at every other school, where it's a 1-year renewable contract. So I say big-time congratulations to the Big Ten, and I hope other conferences follow suit. I mean, the kids get screwed enough as it is. And I'm just going to, and it's always been this way, for never 4-year deals. Everybody knew that was involved in it, but I don't know that many fans know about that. To me, that's a terrible thing. But I give big congratulations to the Big Ten Conference. They're way ahead of the curve on that one. Way, way, way ahead of the curve. In fact, you can't get any more ahead of the curve than that. (314-399-8923). We'll take a break. This is the Pabst Blue Ribbon Gateway Buick GMC Kings Court on 590 The Man and streaming live at talkstl.com. Back after this.
Hot Shots in Arnold and now Webster Groves is the place for all the games all the time. Hot Shots in Arnold and Webster Groves is your place for all your NHL action. Yes, the Blues are back. The NFL is in full swing as well as college football. NASCAR is winding down in point series and our Cards are back in the playoffs. At Hot Shots, you get the best food and drink specials to make the games as fun as being there. Looking for a perfect place for lunch? Well, Hot Shots will get you in and back to work fast after having a fantastic lunch. Get caught up on your sports and have great views of the beautiful servers. It's always a party every day at Hot Shots in Arnold and Webster Groves. Hot Shots gives you every reason to hang out and enjoy yourself with golden tea, bags, beer pong, foosball, darts, and all kinds of other games. Hot Shots in Arnold and Webster Groves has the game on 30 large HD TVs and the massive 105-inch screens, so you always have the best view anywhere in the place. Hot Shots in Webster Groves is on Watson at Laclede Station Roads. Hot Shots in Arnold is at 131 Arnold Crossroads Center, close to 55 and Jeffco Roads. Hot Shots in Arnold or Webster Groves, all the games, all the time.
Miller invented light beer, the original light Pilsner, and that changed everything. This led to people wondering L-I-T-E, that's how you spell light, which led to people thumbing through their dictionaries, which led to there's got to be a better way to look up words, which led to the invention of spell check, which led to better resumes, promotions, celebrations, and happy hour. Miller Lite, we invented light beer and happy hour. You're welcome. 12 ounces contain 96 calories, 3.2 carbs, 1 protein, 0 fat. Great beer, great responsibility. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Hello from Blinds Unlimited. Can you feel it? Summer's here. It's the perfect time for sprucing up your home with custom-made window treatments. Energy-efficient blinds can make a big difference in the cost of cooling your home. Call Mike Guest at Blinds Unlimited, 618-660-7289. Serving the St. Louis community with honesty and integrity for over 17 years. Blinds Unlimited, 618-660-7289.
Dirty Dancing, the record-breaking live theater sensation, is finally here. Relive the magic of Johnny and Baby's classic love story live on stage. Spectacular dancing, passionate romance, and all your favorite songs from the movie. Dirty Dancing. Don't miss it. You'll have the time of your life.
At the Fabulous Fox, October 21st through November 2nd in the U.S. Bank Broadway Series. Get your tickets today through MetroTix.
Big Daddy's on the Landing presents the 6th annual Boogeyman Cash Bash Halloween weekend. That's right, Halloween night and a special bounce back Saturday night party. Come down, drink, eat, party with the costume on both nights at Big Daddy's and get in one of our 3 contests per night. Best overall costume, sexiest ladies, and best group or couple. Contests start after 1 a.m., but get here early to avoid the lines. Check out BigDaddySTL.com for more info.
590 KFNS, Wood River, St. Louis.
Sports Talk Radio.
Hello, gorgeous. Bare Minerals just won its 9th Glammy Award for Best Prestige Foundation. And to celebrate, we're offering risk-free trials of Bare Minerals makeup to all women nationwide. That's right. Every woman who calls right now can get a full-size, risk-free trial of Bare Minerals makeup, plus a free 5-piece makeup set. For yours, call 1-800-605-9625. This is an exclusive radio-only offer you don't want to miss. Bare Minerals Foundation gives you flawlessly beautiful coverage with a no-makeup feel, and it's clinically proven to promote clearer, healthier-looking skin. No wonder it's won 9 Glammys in a row, and now you can try Bare Minerals makeup for yourself. Call now to find out how you can participate in our nationwide risk-free trial and join the millions who've already tried Bare Minerals makeup and fallen in love with their skin again. Plus, we'll send you a free 5-piece makeup set, our gift to you. Hurry, don't miss this exclusive radio-only offer. 1-800-605-9625. 1-800-605-9625.
And now, Wilson Contracting right here in St. Louis reminds all motorists to keep an extra eye out for our kids at play and never text and drive. This tip courtesy of Wilson Contracting, where quality is second only to customer satisfaction. Offering complete kitchen, bath, and basement remodeling to our home repair, siding, and sunroofs. To have the job done right the first time, call Wilson Contracting at 314-647-7603 or visit them at wilsoncontracting.com to see their quality, top-of-the-line work. That's Wilson Contracting, looking forward to serving you.
Please remove those hats. You are in the Pabst Blue Ribbon Gateway Dewitt GMC Kings Court on 590 The Main.
And we welcome you back in. Kevin Slayton with you in the Pabst Blue Ribbon Gateway Buick GMC Kings Court. We are live at the Tilted Kilt in St. Charles at Highway 94 and Country Club Plaza. It's amazing what's going on here. The Todd Gurley is suspended. Gary Pinkel is one of the luckiest people on the face of the earth. I'm telling you, he needs to quit coaching. He needs to go right to Vegas right now. Have somebody else coach the game, or just go out to Vegas today. I mean, it's unbelievable, isn't it? It's amazing. It kind of blows me away. Wow. I mean, it's just unbelievable. How does this guy get suspended for an ongoing investigation? Who suspend? This is, this business of suspending people without anything being proven is really getting out of hand. I mean, it's really getting out of hand. All these cowards who run around suspending people based on an accusation of some sort, it's just getting out of hand. You've got this kid at Florida, the backup quarterback, who has neither been arrested nor charged with anything. He's been accused of a sexual assault by a woman, a student, who was texting him during the game, wanted to meet up with them after the game. They did. They were laughing, holding hands. This is according to all the witnesses' reports. They were driven to his dorm room, and then apparently they had sex. He's offered his dorm room to the investigators. So what we have here is one woman saying that she was sexually assaulted. According to the investigation, there was another male who claimed she had sex with him just an hour or so before she was with this backup quarterback, and that she was the aggressor. Now, we don't know what's true and what's not true, and that's precisely my point. How do you suspend people with nothing having happened? Neither an arrest nor a charge. I don't get that. But I understand why. The University of Florida and Bernie Mackins, their president, is spineless. So in their world, All you have to do is be accused, and you're guilty. That's the world that the University of Florida is teaching their students. That in the United States of America, if you're accused, you're guilty, according to Florida President Bernie Mackens, who, by the way, is such a flaming coward that he's turned down our offer to come on the show and talk about it. That's what a coward he is. So if you're a man, you're a young child, you're a man, 18 to 20, 18 years old or whatever, he's going to college. If he goes to Florida and a woman simply accuses him of something, he's guilty according to the University of Florida. And apparently if you go to Georgia and there's an investigation by the NCAA, you're guilty immediately as well. So the SEC really has some high moral standards, don't they? In the SEC, apparently, you're guilty immediately, except in Missouri, even after the allegations come in, after there's an investigation and a woman kills herself. There's not even a report made. So Missouri stands out in that instance. But I understand a university protecting its image if a guy is arrested and charged. Get that part. When you're merely accused, all this does is allow everyone out there with a bad agenda to accuse somebody anytime they want. And if you don't think it happens, crazy. It happens all the time. Jails were filled with people who were actually convicted of rape before DNA evidence came to light. That's what the Innocence Project is all about. And if you want to look it up, go ahead and read up on it. But in the first few years of the Innocence Project, they freed over 110 men who had been convicted of rape based on DNA evidence that totally exonerated them. So if you don't think it gets made up, it does. And that's in no way to make light of the serious sexual assaults and rapes that take place every day in this country by psychopathic perverts, weirdos, freaks. But the point is, we live in a country that you're innocent until proven guilty unless you play football in the SEC. Then you're guilty as soon as you're accused. There is no innocence ever if you play football in the SEC conference at Florida and Georgia. We know that for sure. So this stuff is just bizarre. Now, we don't know what's going on with Gurley. All we know are the initial reports that it was an ongoing NCAA investigation into a violation. Now, what does that mean? And why would you suspend him at midseason? When did this investigation begin? And when did Georgia know about this investigation? And it didn't say in the preliminary report who actually did the suspending. Was it Georgia? Was it the conference? I know the NCAA doesn't suspend anybody until the investigation's over. They don't even comment on investigations when they're ongoing. So it's either Georgia or the conference, one of the two. 399-8923 is our number if you want to weigh in on any of these topics. 399-8923. I'm telling you, Pinkle needs to hop on a private jet from a donor, fly straight out to Vegas, gamble his butt off, and then get back in time for the game on Saturday. He'll be a multimillionaire the way his luck is going. I'm sorry, he's already been made a multimillionaire by Mike Alden without so much as a single conference championship. No conference championships. He's a multimillionaire.
You're not that good.
Now, the standards of Missouri are really low. I mean, they're really, really low.
Dude, you suck.
You certainly don't have to excel in order to make millions of dollars, that's for sure. But I'm appalled at this cowardly behavior by these universities, Georgia and Florida and the SEC itself. I'm waiting for one of these players when this happens, and believe me, I'm not standing up for stupid players, but until the facts are in, I am. I'm waiting for one of them to turn around and sue that university or that conference when they become exonerated. Because that's what it's going to take to stop this do-gooder nonsense. These people who are afraid of their own shadow. Oh, here in Florida, somebody might say we're bad if we don't suspend him. So we've got to do it. Yeah, but he didn't do anything yet. Whoa, but this woman said he did. Yeah, well, there's a lot of conflicting evidence. Oh, we don't care. We've got to get rid of him. But what about letting the investigation play out till there's an arrest or a charge? Oh, no, he's been accused. He's got to be guilty. People don't accuse innocent people. Right.
I don't get it.
I don't either. Well, I do. I mean, I certainly don't understand the thinking except to say that they're cowards. The politically correct police take over, and this is the result of what you get. So, you know what I'd rather do? Go to Stumpy's House of Barbecue. If I feel like barbecue for the Mizzou Georgia game, Cardinals game, if you're not going to the game, Stumpy's House of Barbecue is your answer. In St. Peter, 620 Jungerman Road, 636-441-7222. 636-441-7222. You can dine in, get a carry-out, or they'll deliver. But all their barbecue is hickory smoked and slow cooked. Fantastic appetizers. The smoked chicken wings alone will be a meal for you. Great salads. Barbecue sandwiches at Stumpy's House of Barbecue. All kinds of different ones. But they have a special sandwich. Tender pulled pork or chicken smothered in their famous Stumpy's original barbecue sauce and topped with their special coleslaw on the sandwich. 3 distinctively different sauces at Stumpy's House of Barbecue. You can buy it by the pound, barbecue by the half slab, full slab of ribs, chicken by the half chicken, whole chicken, ice cold beer, barbecue plates for lunch and dinner, all kinds of sides and extras. Fantastic stuff. Stumpy's beans, Stumpy's green beans, pork and beans, green beans, fried corn cobettes, applesauce, all kinds of different fries. Stumpy's House of Barbecue in St. Peter, 620 Jungerman Road, 636-441-7222. Take the whole family there to dine in, get it delivered, or simply get a carry-out on your way home from work. All right, 399-8923 if you want to jump in on any of our topics, and there are plenty of them. Todd Gurley suspended at Georgia for an alleged violation of NCAA rules, just in time for the Missouri games, 2 years in a row that Pinkel lucks out. All the Missouri fans, if they beat Georgia, and tell you what a great coach he is. He should beat Georgia in his sleep now. Then you've got Adrian Peterson, who was taking a urinalysis test while he's out on bond, and he tells the worker taking the test, I smoked a little weed yesterday. So now the prosecutors are putting together paperwork to revoke his bond and put a warrant out for his arrest.
I love weed, okay? I love it.
He does indeed. Blues open tonight, and their opener is at home against the Rangers, the defending Eastern Conference champions. Can't wait to see that Blues power play. The Rams have their 99 reunion group in town, that team that won the Super Bowl. I'll tell you, there'll be some stories told at those meetings and those dinners and those soirees. Some of them will be true, some will be embellished. This is unbelievable about Gurley, though. Cardinals and Giants kick it off on Saturday. The Royals kick it off tomorrow night in Baltimore. So there's your recap of everything that's going on, and there's a lot of it. A lot of it. I'll tell you what else is going on. I don't know if you've seen this, but the Redskins' name, again, is being, well, there's a guy by the name of Matthew Berry. Now, he goes on with Olbermann often. And I think the guy's kind of full of it myself. And then he wrote a column today on ESPN's website about the use of the term Redskins, that he's been a fan of the Redskins for some 40 years. Whoop-de-doo, nobody cares. But he won't refer to them by their nickname anymore in his writing or his column. He's their fantasy football guy. And then in this column, of course, he refers to them Redskins many times. But you want to talk about the ultimate do-gooder left-wing freak scenario and trying to resolve an issue that isn't even an issue, by the way, because the Redskins say they're not going to change the name. So he says he's not going to use the name anymore, but then he says, personally, I'm totally fine if Dan Snyder wants to keep the name. What?
That doesn't make sense.
He says, here's what I would ask. If the team is going to keep the name, an acknowledgement that the name does offend a group of people. There's your left-wing freak's way of resolving an issue. Apologize to those couple of people that you've offended.
That's just crazy talk.
He says, even if you don't think it's offensive, acknowledge the name does offend a decent-sized group of people. Decent size? Who? You?
Who are those guys?
And something needs to be done to recognize and attend to their needs as well. You believe that I'm even reading this to you? Their needs. There needs to be some sort of compromise on the part of the team. There just does. What are you, nuts? My suggestion is if the name is kept, a percentage of all merchandise sales goes to helping Native American communities, scholarships, charities, and more. What? So then should Notre Dame send a big percentage of their, or a small percentage, whatever it is, of their revenues to all the Irish people that they've offended by referring to themselves as the Fighting Irish? Huh? Is that what Matthew Berry would have you do?
I'm sorry, who would you say you were?
Some guy named Matthew Berry. What kind of... It's their business, and it's none of yours, by the way. Oh, well, if we've offended a couple of people, let's give them money. Yeah, let's do that. That's what we do in this country. Somebody screams, hey, you've offended me. I want some money. So all of us Irish people need to go after Notre Dame. Fighting Irish, my ass. We're just proud Irish people.
Absolutely. Hey.
Well, you're not, Rocky, but that's okay. Unless he's Rocky O. Balboa or Mick Balboa.
Absolutely. Hey.
Oof, I'm hoping he's not Irish. But this is ludicrous. Stop it already with this Redskin thing. It's nonsense. As I've said many times, leave it up to the Indian population. They resoundingly, with a very large majority, say they want the name to stay. They consider it honorable. You'll always have some people in the distinct minority. That doesn't mean you give them money. That doesn't mean that you have to acknowledge how they've been offended. Quit being offended. That's my answer to it. I mean, all the people in this country who are offended by this, that, and the other thing. Here's an idea. Instead of being offended by everything that happens, go be a productive member of society. That way you won't have time to be offended. You'll actually be able to go out, work, employ yourself, bring money home for your family, contribute to the society instead of living off the payroll of others who actually do contribute to society. Thank you. Thank you. And if drafted, I will run. And I'll run on the platform of, if you're offended, tough. I don't care what offends you. Quit being offended. I don't think I've ever been offended in my life. I really don't. I don't have time to be offended. And I'm not a candy ass. So little bitty things that somebody might say doesn't bother me. Get over yourselves. Quit looking for a free handout. Oh, I'm offended. I want money. Jeez. All right, let's take a quick break. This is the Pabst Blue Ribbon Gateway Buick GMC Kings Court at the Tilted Kilt in St. Charles. We're back after this.
Yeah.
Generals gathered in their masses.
Hot Shots in Arnold and now Webster Groves is the place for all the games all the time. Hot Shots in Arnold and Webster Groves is your place for all your NHL action. Yes, the Blues are back. The NFL is in full swing as well as college football. NASCAR is winding down in point series and our Cards are back in the playoffs. At Hot Shots, you get the best food and drink specials to make the games as fun as being there. Looking for a perfect place for lunch? Well, Hot Shots will get you in and back to work fast after having a fantastic lunch. Get caught up on your sports and have great views of the beautiful servers. It's always a party every day at Hot Shots in Arnold and Webster Groves. Hot Shots gives you every reason to hang out and enjoy yourself with golden tea, bags, beer pong, foosball, darts, and all kinds of other games. Hot Shots in Arnold and Webster Groves has the game on 30 large HD TVs and the massive 105-inch screens, so you always have the best view anywhere in the place. Hot Shots in Webster Groves is on Watson at Laclede Station Roads. Hot Shots in Arnold is at 131 Arnold Crossroads Center, close to 55 and Jeffco Roads. Hot Shots in Arnold or Webster Groves, all the games, all the time.
It's Red October at Big Daddy's, the best bar in the whole wide world. Big Daddy's is the place to be before, during, and after all home and away playoff baseball games. Check out our pregame, watch party, post-game celebration party packages online at BigDaddySTL.com. Also, don't pay to park by the stadium. Make your house payment instead and take our totally free shuttle service to and from all Cards playoff games. BigDaddySTL.com.
In the nation, sometimes. But add brand new belongings from Nationwide Insurance and we'll replace destroyed items in your home with brand new versions. We put members first. Join the nation.
Nationwide is on your side.
To get your Nationwide insurance quote, text the word car quote to 51660.
Optional feature. Exclusions and limits apply. Damaged items may be repaired in some cases. Consult policy language for specifics. Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates, Columbus, Ohio.
This Saturday, October 18th and Sunday the 19th, come dream and look around the giant flea market while finding your treasures at the Belclaire Expo Center, 200 South Bell East in Belleville. The best flea market anywhere. You name the item and it's probably there. So come find it, whatever it might be, at the Belclaire Expo Center this weekend. This is a can't miss event at the Belclaire Expo Center this Saturday and Sunday. Treasures await you.
Crowd at the bar making you sweat?
Uh-huh.
Could you use some ice-cold refreshment?
You bet.
Then Coors Light may be right for you. Could result in epic nights, maximum refreshment, great times, awesome memories, high fives, smiles, Rocky Mountain Refreshment, Blue Mountain Refreshment, quadruple epic refreshment, killer parties, and totally refreshed killer parties. Ask your bartender for Coors Light today.
Definitely.
When cold refreshment calls, Coors Light answers. Frost brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. With great beer comes great responsibility.
When you need work done on your home, who do you call? A big major contractor? Some no-name guy with a sign on his truck? Or a locally owned business with 21 years experience in the area you can trust? CBS Construction will come out and give you a free estimate for the job you want done. Specializing in roofs and exteriors, CBS Construction can make the home improvement process easy and a finished product you can trust and be proud of. Call 314-723-0177 today. That's 314-723-0177. You will respect the authority. This is the Pabst Blue Ribbon Gateway Buick GMC Kings Court on 590 The Man.
And we welcome you back into the Pabst Blue Ribbon Gateway Buick GMC Kings Court from the Tilted Kilt in St. Charles. Country Club Plaza at Highway 94. 45 flat screen HD TVs here. The Kilt girls are here. Fantastic discounts. Blues tonight. You can watch that game. Cardinals tomorrow. Mizzou Saturday. Or Cardinals Saturday, I should say. All kinds of things going on at the Tilted Kilt in St. Charles. Hey, by the way, you're driving around. You're not near the Kilt. There are plenty of Taco Bells that are locally owned near you. If you haven't had that great new quesarito, you got to try it. You almost owe it to yourself. It's un-American not to. And here's the best part. At all the Taco Bells, they have the Dollar Crave menu going on right now. That's 11 different items. 11 different menu items for just $1 a piece. Nobody does that for you except Taco Bell. How about that? And don't forget, you can always get those Doritos Locos Tacos if you'd like. That's the Classic Taco Bell on the inside, the shell made of real nacho cheese Doritos. How about the Cool Ranch Doritos tacos, the fiery Doritos Locos tacos? All of your old standbys are still there. The taco salad, the bean burritos, the soft and hard shell tacos. But that Crave menu is phenomenal, and that Breakfast Club is even maybe better. I don't know if it could be better than $1 an item. But if you take those Cinnabon Delights to work in the morning, you'll either get promoted or you'll be the most popular person in your office. Take a whole bunch of them. Steak and egg burritos, waffle tacos, AM crunch wrap, AM grilled tacos, sausage flatbread melt, the breakfast burrito. It's all there on the breakfast menu. Taco Bell opening at 7 till 11. That's the Breakfast Club menu. And there are locally owned Taco Bells in our area. Those are the ones I prefer to frequent because I support locally owned businesses. Locally owned Taco Bells in Missouri, in Washington, St. Clair, Union, Chesterfield Valley, in Chesterfield up on Olive as well. In Illinois, Columbia, Waterloo, Carbondale, Salem, Jerseyville, and Troy, Illinois. Those are all locally owned Taco Bells. Don't forget that great $1 Crave menu, 11 different items for just $1 a piece. All right, you can weigh in on our topics of the day here at 314-399-8923. 399-8923. What a day it's been if you've just joined us. We're fortunate we had Art Stewart on the show, great Kansas City Royals scout, Yankee scout with the Royals still. Guy that signed Bo Jackson, signed George Brett, and is basking in the wonderfulness of what is the Royals' run to the American League Championship, starting in Baltimore. Bill DeWitt III, the Cardinal president, visited with us. And subsequently to that, of course, the Blues play tonight, but subsequently to that, we found out that Todd Gurley, the running back for Georgia, the Heisman Trophy candidate, the leader in the clubhouse, has been suspended indefinitely because of an alleged NCAA violation. Now, I don't know what country these people live in at these schools in the SEC, but what are you suspending people for until there is a final decision? I don't understand that. It's wrong. Same with the Florida quarterback who's been suspended because somebody says he sexually assaulted somebody. It's an accusation. No arrest, no charge. You're giving all the power to people who have an axe to grind. And that's never a good way to do business. Arrest and charged? Okay. But neither has happened. Crazy stuff. Instead, people need to be arresting these demonstrators down at Ballpark Village the other night who were chanting, "Who do we want?" And then they would say Darrell Wilson, the police officer under question in Ferguson. And then they'd say, "How do we want him?" And they'd all answer dead. Now, that's not peaceful assembly. That's inciting riots and inciting violence. And they should all be in jail, but they're not because this country now has polarized the police departments into just freezing. No, if we arrest them, we're all going to be in trouble. There's going to be screaming and yelling at us because we did our job. What a country. Well, it used to be we had universal respect internationally. Now we have universal mockery internationally, and we deserve it. And we continue to allow people coming in from West Africa, East Africa, wherever this Ebola outbreak is taking place. What for? We look stupid. We're putting thermometers up to their foreheads to see if anybody's sick. Are you kidding me? Oh, but we can't offend anybody. Can't do that. It's Nutsville, this country is today. Nutsville. All those proud patriots who fought in World War II, Vietnam, World War I, the Korean War, Afghanistan, Iraq. They must just, those that are still with us must just be ashamed. Those that have passed are rolling over in their graves. It's not the country they fought for, that's for sure. If they'd have known this was going to be the case, they probably wouldn't have fought. Why would you? Man, it's crazy out there. 399-8923 if you want to weigh in. A lot of fun to be had up here at the Tilted Kill tonight. NFL football, Blues hockey. Boy, this Blues opener is going to be fun, isn't it? The Rangers in town. The Blues opening up. What a perfect confluence of events where the Blues can play their game without being up against the Cardinal game. I mean, it just worked out perfectly. Cardinals finished that series the other day. Blues open tonight, unopposed. Missouri plays Saturday morning in time to allow the Blues and the Cardinals to play Saturday night. And then the Cardinals play Sunday night, and then the Rams play Monday night. So the only night you're going to be torn is Saturday night. Cardinals, Blues, Blues, Cardinals. I expect good things from the Blues tonight. I really think this power play is going to be fun to watch. I'm hopeful that the Rangers are whistled for a few penalties because I want to see the Blues power play go to work. It's going to be fun to watch. Stastny, Laterra, Lindstrom, Tarasenko, Schwartz. They're all there, along with Backus, Steen, some people that can put the biscuit in the basket. Well, I know people are going to say, well, can they do it in the playoffs? Well, we won't know until then. In the meantime, we enjoy the regular season. I enjoy the Missouri regular season in football. You don't just sit there all the time and say, well, they can they ever win a conference championship? No, the answer is no. But that doesn't mean the football's not entertaining. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, on the other side, it'll be the Window World Rewind, brought to you by the good folks at Window World. 314-993-1800. Get you a free in-home estimate. Free. At the home of the original $189 window guys. Any size, wide vinyl, double-hung windows, $189 from Window World. That's coming up. The Rewind will be Scout Art Stewart of the Kansas City Royals. That's next.